I am going to attempt to show you a few different ways that I do the decreasing. I have no idea which way is the correct way to do it, but these are 3 ways that work for me. One of the ways that I'm going to show I don't use very often because it's kind of difficult. The other way that I use is only really good on one side because I'll show you, obviously, because it's at the beginning of the row, so it's a little bit difficult. And then the main one that I use, I don't know if it's the correct way, but I highly doubt it because sometimes it can leave gaps in my project, but these are the ways that I decrease that I have found works. And I have already done the chained row and then 1 row back, so I don't know if that counts as 1 or 2 rows, but I think it's 1 row. So I've already done, you know, maybe 2 rows, but the chained row and then the 1 back. So to start, and I don't know how many I did. I didn't count. Sorry about that. But you chain the 1 to turn it around, and then crochet. I'm doing single crochets, by the way. Single crochet 1 into the first stitch, and then this is the main way that I do it. This is the easiest for me. It just sometimes leaves gaps if I don't pull it tight enough. But it's the easiest, fastest way I've been doing it for basically all of my crochet projects. This is what I use. And it's super easy. Just skip the next stitch and go into the next one and make sure you have it pulled really tight. Otherwise you're going to have a gap. And that's it. Decreased by a stitch. I'm going to do the rest of this row until I have, you know, until I'm at the third to, well, I'm at the third to last stitch. And then I'll be right back to show you it again because that's the easiest, fastest way to do it, but I'll be right back. Alrighty, I am at the third to last stitch, so I have 2 more that I haven't done. And just like the other side, I know this is kind of a cheating way, but again, it might be the correct way to do it. I don't know. Yeah, you just skip this 1 stitch and go into the last one on the project thingy that you're working with. Just go into the last one and skip it like it doesn't even exist. And now you're down 2 crochets. You've decreased by 2 in that 1 row just by skipping. The only thing with that is you have to make sure that it is pulled tight. I have made this mistake and had to undo my entire project before, which was really annoying. But yeah, just make sure that it's pulled tight, and then that's the easiest way to do it for me, because that's the way that I started doing. And then there's also this way that I have done, which is a little bit challenging. Actually, I'm going to do a full row. I'm going to go back to this end, and then I'll show you how to do it, because I don't want it to be super weird. But I'll be right back. I went back around again to the other end, but yeah, you can see the first row. You can't hardly even tell. My camera's almost dead. Let me grab a charger. I'll be right back. Okay, crisis averted. You have a plug now. Anyway, back to this. But you can see you can't really tell where I decreased on that. Again, you just have to make sure that it's pulled really tight, and then you can't see it. But that's the main way that I've been doing that, so it works the best for me. But for the next way that I've done it, I don't think this is a good way to do it, but again, I was learning, and this is one of the ways that slightly kind of worked for me. You chain 1 like you're doing normal, you know, turning your project, but you skip the first stitch this time, and then just go in like normal, and then once you make it to the end, you don't really do anything, or at least I didn't really do anything for skipping. I just kind of crocheted to the end, and then I crochet, and then I skip the first crochet on the next end. It's just with this way, you really do have to have an end sides of your project. Like, it can't be like you're doing a hat or anything like that, because the edges are really, really hard to crochet, because there is basically no stitch there, and you have to, like, really count. But see, I just did a normal all the way to the end. I crocheted, and then to make the both sides match, you chain another one and then skip the first stitch. And again, this way I don't really use it all anymore because it just looks kind of funky and it's kind of difficult to finish and do the next row of, because the end is all twisted. It's kind of difficult to get your hook in. But I'm going to go to the end of this row, and then I'll show you the next way that I do, and then that'll be all the ways, I swear. I did, you know, the row I was working on, and then I did another one, so I would be starting off with a clean top, because, again, the edges on that one is very difficult to, because it's all twisted. The edge crochet stitches that you need to go in are a little bit challenging, so again, I don't really recommend that one, but it works, so if you want to try it, go for it. Now for this one is the most challenging one that I do, but it looks the nicest. I don't use it very often. It looks the nicest, but I don't really use it because it's difficult for me and it's time consuming, so I just use my first, you know, skippy, because it's the easiest. But anyway, you chain one and then do your first stitch like normal, and then you do like your normal crochet into the next stitch, but instead of pulling these, you know, finishing it by looping it around and then taking both stitches off, you don't do that. You go into the next stitch along the way, and then you wrap it around, and then you pull it through, and then you pull the other 2 stitches off. So that's how you do that one. Again, this way is the most confusing. It looks the best because you, no matter what, won't have a gap. It's just, I don't use it very often because it's more challenging and time consuming mostly, and I don't have much patience. So yeah, that's why I don't use that one. But again, I have 3, I'm going into the 3rd stitch away from the end now. So you crochet like a normal, but you're only doing half of it at this point, and then you stick it into the next crochet stitch, and then you pull both over and off. So that's how you decrease that one. Again, that one's like, it's the best looking because you're guaranteed, like, see where I skippied? You have like a gap here. Like, no matter how tight you get it, you're gonna have gaps in it. And then the skipping of the edge ones, you're gonna have a funky this thing going on, and again, that's my least favorite one to do because it has a lot of problems with it. It's just a way that I did when I was learning. And then the way that I just did, it looks the best because you can't really even tell where you decreased. It just looks the nicest. It's just not my favorite to do, but that's how you do that way if you want to do that one. But I'm going to finish this. I'm probably gonna, well, no probably about it. I'm gonna do my skippy way, where I'm going to do the chain and then crochet normal into the first one, and then just skip and do a normal crochet. So I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna do like decreases every other row probably, and then when I make it down further, I'm only gonna do 1 decrease a row because I'm gonna run out of room. But yeah, I'm gonna finish off this little triangle thingy, and I'll be right back. I did my skippy way all the way to the top. There are 2 stitches left on the top that I could do, but I don't really see a way to decrease that, and I don't want it to look super funky. So I'm just leaving it as 2. But you can kind of see how, well, not really, but this is my skippy space. There's a hole, and here there's holes, so those are where I did my skippy way. But again, that's the easiest way for me to do it, so that's what I do. And then the edge ones, the edge is just all weird. So I don't really, again, this is where the edge one is. I don't use that one anymore because of that. And then the double one, you can't even see. They're right here. But you can't even see. So that's definitely the best way to do it and probably the proper way to do it. But I like doing the skip way, so that's what I use. And I wanted to show all 3 versions because one of them might work the best for you. It might be the easiest for you. Or you just can't understand one of the versions, so you just give up and you needed to try something else. But yeah, the skipping is just the easiest way to do it. That's why I do it that way. And then the double, crochet twice, or do this 1 stitch into 2 stitches. That's the best looking. I just don't do it because I'm not used to doing that very often. I like skipping more. It's just, it works better. So yeah, those are 3 different ways to do it. I hope that one of them, at least one of them, will be able to help you figure out how to decrease. With crocheting, though, it's so easy because you can just, if you messed up or it doesn't look right, you just take that row out and try again. Like, it's not a big deal. Knitting is a bit more of a pain. But crochet, you can try all the different ways on the same row, on the same stitch if you wanted to, because you just keep taking it out until you find one that works. But yeah, I hope that this was helpful. My little triangle. I'm gonna take it apart though, because I don't have a use for it. Besides, showing how to do the stitches, I don't have a use to keep it. But I hope that one of those ways, truly, I hope that one of those ways was helpful. And that you're able to continue on with your project and decrease, whatever you're making. But anyway, I'm sorry, it was kind of an all over the place video. And I hope that one of them helped. So truly, thank you for watching, and I hope it helped. Bye.